This segment of Long Island Talks on LongIsland.com is brought to you by Adam Butter of Angle and Volkers. Follow your dream. Home. Good evening, everyone. Kevin Wood here, Long Island Talks, exclusively on LongIsland.com. Here with my good friend and music promoter, Jim Faith. Jim Faith, good evening. How are you?
Good. I'm well, thank you. So far, so good.
I'm sure you had a long day. I know you're, even through this pandemic, you're planning things. I'd love to see that you're active. Love it.
Yeah. Well, I'll be here late tonight too. Actually, I'm back in my office 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and trying to get some work done from my office. I've been working out of the house. It's just crazy.
I've been spending the last 3 weeks talking to chefs, and my loves in life, right? Food, music, a little bit of beer. Those are my three loves, right? And the chefs, artistic people, and I know you're a musician yourself, although I'm not so sure how many people know that. You are really humble, and you're a hell of a bass player. I've played with you, so I know it. But what you really do is you put other people in the spotlight, and you're really, really, really good at it. For those that are watching, Jim Faith is the producer, co-founder, would that be correct, of the Great South Bay Music Festival?
Me and my daughter, yeah.
Excellent. So that's, you're used to ups and downs. I know that. We know each other long enough to see things go up and down in business, in situations. Have you ever seen anything like this, and how the hell are you coping?
No one in the whole business has ever seen anything like this, from the solo guitarist playing at the local bar to Billy Joel. Nobody has ever seen anything like this. I mean, if there's a hurricane, it's that section of the world and that section of the country, and everybody gets on board and helps them. This is the whole world in one shot. It's completely been turned up. It's been upended, and nobody knows what's happening. Nobody. And then you're trying to plan a little bit, but it's pretty much impossible to do it. So you just, everybody's in wait and see mode.
Yeah. And in business, we like certainty. We try to have as much certainty as possible in business. You're a prime example of this, because I remember talking to you months before the Great South Bay Music Festival, and you are trying to really get a perfect, or as close to perfect, a formula, so that, let's face it, your business is getting people into an event. That's important. That's everything. And of course, having a good time and all the other plans that go along with it. But with uncertainty, it's very hard to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny. My father was a gambler, and I always prided myself on not being a gambler. Years ago, I played in Vegas and Atlantic City, and I never gambled. My friends would play cards. I never gambled, and I always said it was because my father's a gambler, and he was the greatest dad in the world, but he was a gambler. And I said that to my wife once, and she just went, "You're a promoter."
By very definition.
I like gambling, but it's probably the biggest gamble in the world, because, you take hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, and send it to somebody, hoping that they'll come and that all these people will come, and that, everything will work out right. And then the last thing in the world, you just look up and you look at to see if it's going to rain, which is the most insane part of the whole thing. You can get it down as much as of a science as possible. And then it comes down sometimes to just rain. Last year, the heat wave. We didn't have any idea. We had a great lineup, and our 4 days was a 4-day heat wave. The governor came out and told everybody to stay home, and the media came out and told everybody, don't go out of the house. It's 2 days. It was 100 degrees every day on our 4 days, and people with tickets didn't come, and we got killed, and we never saw that coming.
Unbelievable. It's best laid plans, right? Are you seeing anything right now that you just want to kind of throw a brick through the TV set when when the media just harps and harps and harps? Now, we're not talking about things that make sense for a health reasons, but just where it impacts the moves that we make, from the little hardware store to an event like yours. Do you really scratch your head sometimes?
Yeah, but it does come down to my wife's a nurse. So, that it's, if people would just stop being stupid, it would be better.
You're asking a lot, Jim.
It's getting better. Everything's getting better in Manhattan. They're doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Everybody's walking around with masks, and then there's always there are a group that just won't do it. they just refuse to do it. And I'm not trying to make this a political thing, but we don't know, and that guy doesn't know either.
That's right.
And so just because we all don't know, just let's do our best and let's all work together, because it seems to be working in certain places. And and they just had a big thing about that church that a couple of people, they had a mass, and pretty much a load of people in that mass just got infected.
There you go.
People voted, a whole bunch of people online got infected. It's kind of simple, it's science,
Yeah.
So we shouldn't go there. So
We won't go there, but we did go there, and you're right. I should mention you are also a co-founder, along with a great group of people, of the Long Island Music Hall of Fame, which is phenomenal. We celebrate all the amazing musicians and artists that come from Long Island. You and I wouldn't have enough time to actually name those. We know the big names, of course. Let's get right into that.
Yeah. Well, just so you know, that we're kind of announcing that we're just changing the name to the Long Island Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame. We're adding comedians, and all the talent that comes from Long Island is just incredible. So that we're going to be announcing that. But yeah, the 31st is kind of a tribute to all of our artists that we've inducted, and they've agreed to give us, in many cases, some exclusive content that nobody has ever heard before. Some songs they've written just for this crisis, just personal messages to people,
Nice.
and to the frontline workers. And we're also, if you wanted to donate, you could to United Way, and they've set up a fund for frontline workers and healthcare workers. So people like Pat Benatar, John Petrucci, Dream Theater, Joan Jett, Blue Oyster Cult, Barnaby Bye, Debbie Gibson. It's really cool. It's going to be very cool. And like I said, a lot of stuff that nobody's ever heard before. And so it's the 31st, 8 o'clock. We're excited.
Jim, there's a very exciting artist that's playing tomorrow night. It's a collaboration between yourself, Jim Faith Productions, and Newsday Live. Who is it?
It's Brandon Taz Niederauer. It's called Taz. Basically, that's what everybody calls him, Taz. And he's a phenom guitarist. God touched this kid. He's amazing. He really is. He started at School of Rock. He was the one that played on Broadway, the School of Rock musical. He played Zach Mooneyham, the guitar player. He was, he must have been 12, 13 years old. And now he's played with everybody from Allman Brothers members to Gary Clark Jr. to Lady Gaga to Stevie Nicks, everybody. He's just amazing. When he was 13 or so, he played Great South Bay Music Festival on the band shell. And he told me last year when he played Great South Bay on the main stage, he said, every year I'd look over at that stage and I'd see that stage and that main stage, and someday I'm going to play on that main stage.
Oh, wow.
Now he was playing with Weasel Zappa and all these other great people.
What is the status of the Great South Bay Music Festival 2020? Is that a definite?
It's basically like the rest of the industry. It's on hold. We just don't know what's going to happen yet. We don't know if the artists are going to be able to get here, if they're going to want to play, if they're going to, we don't know if the governor is going to allow us to play, if it gets better in the next couple of months and then all of a sudden gets worse, which is what they're anticipating, then we can't have it. So we're kind of on hold. We're just kind of waiting to see and trying to plan as many things as possible for whatever happens. But nobody knows.
You and I talked offline a little bit. As you know, I'm in media, and 10 years ago I was live streaming bands, and I think it was like a little bit ahead of its time, and it was sort of weird because we didn't have a pandemic. So it was like, hey, I enjoy live events much more than streaming too. But now it's certainly the norm. You have people like Michael Del Giudice getting 400,000 views. I think tomorrow night there'll be record views for Taz. I'm sure you have alternate plans if you don't go off at the Great South Bay Music Festival. Without showing your cards, give me your thoughts on that.
It's I personally don't believe that. I mean, I've heard that in one place they're going to have drive-in concert with a local dance band. I mean, and think about it. You know, you know they're going to go there and people are not going to listen. They're going to get out of their car. They're going to tailgate, and they're just going to, you know,
It's inviting problems.
it's
Yeah.
it's it real. And who wants to sit in a car in a dance band? No less?
Never.
I mean, you can almost see it for a folk band or a listening kind of music thing, but a band where you want to get up and jump around and dance is just ludicrous.
It's sad. It's sad.
Yeah, just wait. Just, you know, look, we don't have it so bad. You know, we have to wear a mask when you go shopping and see people, and you know, it's, you know, you're home with your kids, and it's not so bad. We're not being bombed. You know,
Yeah. No, it's pretty good actually. I'm getting more sleep and I'm gardening. You know?
Yeah, I did more work on a couple of months. My wife loves that, and you know, I'm in Lowe's and Home Depot almost every day.
I know. It's incredible.
Yeah. So
We'll get out of this by buying this stock. That's how it's going to work. That's the whole plan.
there's that whole world of God knows what's going on.
I know. It's a nightmare. All right, so 2 great events. In the meantime, we're going to keep in touch with you on the Great South Bay Music Festival. Thank you for all you do for all Long Island musicians, artists. I can speak for everyone where you are the outlet for a lot of talent, and you recognize talent. That's most important. And you're a great bass player. I want to see you playing more. I'd love to play with you again soon.
We have to jam again.
All right, so long from Port Jefferson. And we'll see you tomorrow night online, and we'll both be like this for Taz.
Good. Yeah, it'll be great.
Thanks, Jim.
Take care, man.
Take care.